What's up, gentle listeners, and thank you for tuning in for another BGN special. I'm your host, Raichele Privette, and this episode is brought to you by SB Nation and Bleeding Green Nation. On today's episode, I am joined by a very, very special guest, someone that you guys all know and love, two-time national champ, 2020 Heisman Trophy winner, and wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, DeVonta Smith. What's up, DeVonta? Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Appreciate you having me.
And to my understanding, you're joining me on behalf of Panini Trading Cards, and you're currently in LA for Panini's two-day rookie closeout event. This is a chance for you guys to come together with other first-year players to share your on-field experiences and sign each other's trading cards and your own trading cards. So for more information, listeners, you guys can visit Panini at paniniamerica.net or follow on all social media at Panini America. So far, what has that experience been like for you?
It's been good. It's been fun. Just seeing all the trading cards that are made for me. Something that I kind of grew up wanting to have my own trading card.
Yeah, and to my understanding, you are there with other rookies. So have you got to spend time with some of your other former teammates or just get to share experiences? And what have those experiences been like?
Just being here, showing each other our trading card and things like that. Just seeing who has the best trading card.
Can you describe the feeling of having your own trading card and what do you plan to do with it?
For me personally, it's more of I like to collect other people's trading cards. So just getting my teammates, getting their cards, and just having a collection of that.
Okay, so take me back down memory lane. As a child, growing up, who are maybe 3 NFL players that you would have loved to open up a pack of trading cards and see the cards signed by that player?
Julio, Aaron Brooks, and Reggie Bush.
Nice. Okay. So also, I wanted to touch a little bit about the season, and I was watching an interview and I heard you say that for your pregame routine, like the day of the game, you have an old soul and you like to listen to artists like Mason Frankie Beverly and Anthony Hamilton. So I just wanted to ask you, what's your favorite Mason Frankie Beverly song?
Before I let go, that's a classic. That's something you just can't pass up.
Okay. So are you that person at the cookout that's gonna be out there doing like the line dance with it, or are you chill?
Nah, I'm not doing no dancing. I'm just gonna chill.
Okay. Because I was gonna say my favorite would be like We Are One, but Before I Let Go is definitely a classic. So you got to play that. Speaking of the season, you guys started 2-5 and you made a complete 360 when you committed to the run game, ending the season 9-8. So what does this past season tell you about your team?
Once you find your identity as a team and you stick to it and everybody embraces their role, you're going to get to where you want to be. I think that's what got us to where it was. Once we found out what our identity was as a team was, and we stuck to it, we started doing the things that we wanted to do.
You had a really successful rookie season. You passed DeSean Jackson for the most receiving yards by a rookie in Eagles franchise history. Jackson had 912 and you finished the season with 916. So can you describe the feeling of what it felt like after that play when you broke that record?
It felt amazing. Just going out there, being able to do that, and DeSean being a guy like me that's kind of undersized, and him reaching out to me and things like that, it kind of meant a lot just with my journey and knowing that that's somebody that I kind of grew up watching.
When he reached out to you, what exactly did he say?
It was just that, he was happy for me. He was proud of me and things like that. That just meant a lot to me.
That's huge. That's a really big deal. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to touch on, you're the toe tap king. You are insane with your route running. So what is the secret behind the success? Like, what makes you so special? Because a lot of these other wide receivers, they're not as smooth, they're not as crisp when it comes to their route running.
You have to master your craft. Every little drill that I do, I try to make it as realistic as I can to where it's gonna be something that I'm gonna do on the field. Just sideline taps on the sideline, and then just my awareness in general, just kind of having the awareness of where I am.
Nice. And I wanted to touch a little bit about your pregame looks. Clearly, you must be into fashion because every single one of your pregame looks were always like super fly, like the suits, the color schemes. They were just on point. So, like, where do you get your outfit inspiration?
I kind of always grew up like with the shirt and tie type thing. Was kind of always into it. I mean, then it was just like, okay, let me take it up a notch. Let me do the full suit now, and not just a shirt and tie. I mean, high school I did shirt and tie, and then once I got to college, wearing a suit was mandatory, and it's just something I enjoy, so I wanted to continue doing it.
Are you into, I can clearly tell that you're into sneakers. So if I had to ask you, like, what's your like go-to pair of sneakers?
Go to, I would say, my favorite is the True Blue threes. That's my favorite pair of Jordans.
Okay, what about them makes them so special?
As a kid, that's kind of the pair that I always wanted to get that I could never get my hands on. So once I got my hands on it, it was just like a dream come true. I probably worn them one time and would never wear them again, probably.
Okay. When I was going back and looking at like your highlight reel from this past season, one of the biggest plays that stood out to me was the catch that you made. It was against the Broncos, and it was a touchdown catch against your former teammate Patrick Surtain. So, what's a play that you remember is going to be extremely memorable from your rookie season?
I'll probably say the toe tap against the Giants. Just because it's kind of hard to drag when you're kind of like going backwards. So that was probably my favorite one because it was just limited space. I had to keep my heel up. And, I mean, it was just tough. It was tough to do, but I made it happen.
Okay. Was there any trash talk in the play against Patrick Surtain? Was there any trash talk? Were there any words exchanged after that play?
No, he was just like, man, I don't know how you caught that, but I mean, before we played him, it was some trash talk. When we got drafted and I kind of seen the schedule, we was trash talking. Like everybody was like, yeah, Pat, I was like, Pat, you got to see me this year. I mean, trash talk started then.
Okay. So now that we're in the off season, what's your focus? What's an area that you're focusing on improving?
Just overall perfecting my craft, getting better with my craft, and I mean, just staying strong. I mean, keeping my lower body strong, things like that. Core.
Okay. And you seem like you're pretty low key. You seem like you're pretty grounded. How do you stay focused in the midst of like all of the distractions with social media, with fans, with commentators? How do you stay focused?
That's just kind of who I am. I mean, I get on social media to, laugh a little bit at the funny stuff that's on there, but most of the time I'm on the game, so not really on social media that much. So that's kind of how I stay away from it.
Okay. I wanted to talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts. You're clearly very close with him. How have you seen him improve from the start of the season to the end?
I mean, every day he came in getting better. I mean, if it's anything that he messed up on the day before, he's gonna make sure the next day that he come out, he's gonna correct it. So just always wanting to get better, always trying to make those corrections.
And you seem like you're the same way. Like both of you guys seem like you have that dog mentality, like you're gonna grind it out. So clearly that's a reason that you guys work so well and get along so well.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how it was in college. Even when I was a recruit and he was trying to get me to come to Alabama, he was always that guy. And I mean, that's somebody that I always wanted to be around just because I know that we were the same type of person.
Mm-hmm. What's the wide receiver room? What did that look like with you, Quez Watkins, Jalen Rager? What's your relationship like?
I mean, we're real close. I mean, we're very young. Kind of all have the same interests, shoes and things like that. So, I mean, those are guys that I can talk to about anything. And ultimately, we all want to get better. We all see one person do one thing, and we try to implement that in our game. So, just going out there, being with those guys, knowing that at the end of the day, we're all happy for each other. We're all trying to help each other get to where we want to be.
You're clearly a role model for a lot of other young players coming up behind you. And that's a lot of pressure, being such a young, I'm sure, being such a young player. So what advice would you have to other young athletes who are trying to get to where you are?
Just be yourself. I mean, you don't have to do something that's not for you. I mean, if you're not the type of person, don't do it. Be yourself. That's what got me where I am today. Just being myself, doing the things that I know that's going to work for me.
Okay. And then I also wanted to ask, You definitely proved, if not exceeded, your expectations from this past season. What can we expect in your second season? Are we going to be expecting to see more contributions? Are we expecting to see on the other side of the ball? Like, what is that going to look like? Do you know? Have you had talks
Um,
with Sirianni?
I mean, expect to see more. I mean, I didn't kind of reach my goals that I wanted to reach, so I kind of know what I have to do to get to where I want to be. So I mean, you're going to see more.
What were your goals this going into your rookie season?
I'm gonna keep the goals that I didn't accomplish to myself until I accomplish them, and then once I accomplish them, I'll let y'all know.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. Once again, this interview was brought to you on behalf of Panini Trading Cards. For more information, you guys can visit Panini at paniniamerica.net or follow us on social media. Follow them on social media at Panini America. So thank you so much, DeVonta, for taking the time to talk with me.
Thank you for having me.